Hi guys, this video is for the newbie hivemind. I'm Xavier Fogg, and yep, so I'm just gonna go straight into the campaigns that I'm doing. So as you can see, I'm using the volume tracker, which I believe quite a number of us are using. The current campaign I'm working on is this one, using the decisive traffic source, and it's on hivemind. So this is the exact offer from hivemind. Let me just open up the decisive app. So this is the this is the one that was recommended in the Stack That Money forums, and I'm just gonna go ahead and show you the entire week. Yep, so you can see that it's been running for a while. I spent around maybe $15 to $20. It's got around 4 conversions, and well, I realized that the banners that were converting were actually of a similar type, and all these banners are actually ripped from somewhere, and I made some adjustments to them. So the banners that converted, you can see all of them on this follow along campaign. So I've taken screenshots, and these are all the banners that I've used, and I ripped them off using a VPN from. So I took a look at the different sites that Decisive has. So they have a lot of sites, right? Like they have a lot of sites that they are using. So I went to each and every site, and I started ripping off all these banners, and some of them were in English, and not all of them were from Brazil. Some of them, I don't know where they were from, but I just ripped off like 10, and after that I got somebody to convert the words into Portuguese. That I believe that's the language that Brazil was using. So what happened was some of the banners got rejected because they were misleading, and well, some of them got through, and those that converted were mainly banners 4, 6, and 8, and they're actually saying kind of the same thing. So what they say is that possible 7 viruses on your phone, remove now. And whereas those that got rejected is 7 virus detected, because you don't actually have a virus on your phone, right? So all these got rejected. So those that passed through was those that suggested a possibility. However, I actually submitted all these banners to another advertising network, which is InMobi, and they also got rejected because it's still misleading, right? Because if there's a possible virus, why do you need to remove it now? So I'm not going to go too much into that. And I realized that why this worked was because I'm guessing because it creates a certain fear, a certain emotion in the user, and all of them are saying the same thing. And you realize that they kind of look like a real error. The background is gray, so that's how a Microsoft error kind of looks like, right? Maybe not exactly this gray, but you get the idea. It's slightly lighter. And banner 8, it still looks like an error. It looks like a real error from some kind of, I'm not sure, some antivirus software or something. So yeah, so that's how it looks like. And there are actually 2 other campaigns that I did before, which I will not go into detail, which was the Quicker and the Mobigini campaigns. So those that perform a little bit better in the Quicker campaign was actually this banner. This is, I can't remember exactly every one of them, but this is the one that performed the best. And you can see, get rid of useless phones and sell them, right? Turn it into cash. So you ask them to tap here, and it was a direct link to the app download. So I realized that this kind of makes them angry. Get rid of your phone, because your phone has been lying around. Why the hell is it still there? Whereas the rest of my banners are kind of boring. It's just like, sell your phone. It doesn't evoke a sense of negative or strong emotion. It could be negative, it could be positive, but I think it needs to be strong. And this was the strongest banner I had, and obviously it had the highest level of conversions as well as click-through rate, although it's still not profitable. And I have lenders, which I did up. So my server is actually in Singapore because I'm a Singaporean, and the servers were meant for a different purpose. and this crowd that we're targeting is in the Brazil, right? So obviously that's halfway around the world. So I actually use a CDN network, which I will not cover here. So these were the two lenders. I actually ripped quite a lot of lenders, and they are not necessarily like this one that I have over here. Wasn't exactly a antivirus lender. It was, I believe, was like a browser lender, and I kind of just adjusted it a little bit. So here's what it says. I believe I have it all here. So the first one says here. It says your browser may have 27 viruses. I mean 7 viruses, and if it doesn't resolve in a few days, it may leak your personal contacts or important information. And I believe that this happens to be the first thing Sean discussed in his video, right? So yeah, so please download and install this thing, and it goes straight to the offer, and they'll download it. And I think it's interesting to touch on this here because you see, Sean, or rather many of us had to come up with our own angles, which I did for my first 1 or 2 campaigns, and I realized that maybe there's a better method. Because how did I come up with this? This is not actually mine. I mean, I just ripped it off the net, and in fact I didn't just rip this off. I ripped off another few more lenders, which is this one, and in fact many other lenders, but they just didn't happen to belong to the antivirus campaign. And I actually went in a few days later, and there were a few more lenders and there were a few more banners. So in a sense, ripping off these banners is like having an even bigger mastermind group, right? Because they are already testing it. So I'm just taking it and seeing what the results are like. So I thought that is actually faster, and I actually started a company which was profitable in Singapore a few years ago, and all I did was to rip off the sales pitch of a already successful company. So I thought that would be a good starting point. So obviously this is not going to be long term, right? Because I mean, if you keep ripping off banners, how far are you going to go? You need to innovate. But I think that we need a good starting point, and we need to know, or at least keep up to speed, and as fast as possible try to find out what works. So I think that ripping off at the start is exactly what I'm going to do, and I'm just going to rip off even faster and even more, and test even more, and keep whatever works. Because I start to realize that most of the banners that work kind of look the same, right? And sometimes people innovate themselves and end up with a similar result, because that is what the viewers want to see, right? And in fact, you don't have to innovate yourself at the start because you are not profitable anyway. So yeah. Okay, so but there has been some issue with this antivirus campaign because as you can see in the comments, we have Zeno telling us that this particular approach that I'm taking is kind of dying out, and maybe we should try a different approach. But to be honest, I don't know what is the different approach. So what I'm gonna do is just keep ripping off more banners and see what other different approaches other people have. So I'll probably be launching like a campaign every week. I'm not sure, because now I just invited a friend to help me out. So maybe we can launch, maybe every 3-4 days. And what we'll be doing is just ripping off banners to see what works and what's not, what doesn't work, and what angles other people are using. As you can see, I have 4 conversions, which is pretty pathetic, because I believe Jonathan is actually having a lot more conversions on another antivirus campaign in Argentina, I believe. So I'm not sure, is it because my ads don't work, or is it that I have too many banners that were not converting, or I just don't know. Okay, so the angle that worked was just telling people, you have a virus on your phone. Yeah, so well, it's not very creative, but it works. So we're trying to find new angles. And yeah, let me see what else I'm supposed to touch on. Yeah, landing pages. Yeah, maybe I should just go through the other one. Oh yeah, this is the landing page that worked better. It says remove virus now, right? The one that I just showed you. So this is the one that worked really well. All the conversions were on this lender, whereas see, all the conversions was on lender number 1, which is this one, and the other lender, which is this one, had 0 conversions. So just well, I don't have it here, but I can tell you what it means. It says, I believe it says that, something to do with your SIM card being spoiled and photos and contacts being compromised. And it says step 1, install this antivirus called psafe, and step 2 is scan to remove your virus. So, and here says remove virus, right? And the reason why I think this didn't work is because it's not congruent with the banner, because the banner said that you had 7 viruses, right? And over here it says protect yourself. Yeah, this is what this means. This is protect yourself. Whereas the other banner that works says you have 7 viruses. So it's saying the same thing, right? At first it tells you that you have 7 virus. You still have the 7 virus and it's dangerous, and you need to remove it now. Click here. Right? It's a really simple message that says the same thing. Whereas here it's a bit confusing. At first I try to tell you you have a virus, and then after that I go ahead and tell you please protect yourself. I mean, yeah, it makes sense, but I think when we're playing on fear, people are not rationally thinking. I mean, that's just a wild guess. So you want to give them a solution fast. Oh wow, you have a virus. The virus is still there. It might destroy your data, and then maybe you can show a scary picture of a phone, something bad happening to the phone, and it hangs. Here, mobile antivirus removes your virus now. Click here. Something really simple. Don't try to explain too much. In fact, this thing that tells you, it's not really explaining. I mean, although it is, but what is really doing here is to play on the fear, right? Which is to say that, oh, if it doesn't resolve. So this is a kind of urgency, right? To tell you got to do it now. And the other one is to say that, oh, the virus can just screw up everything else in your phone. And next, solve the problem by clicking here. Yeah. So I guess you need, because it's simple and it's congruent with the banner. Yeah. So the next thing I'm gonna do is because of the realization that those that has higher conversions are touching on fear. I think that this is really good. This post on these 7 deadly sins. You can just search using this feature over here, and well, they are actually talking about adult campaign angles, right? But I think you can use it for any of your campaigns. I mean, now I'm doing antivirus, but some of you might be doing adult or some other campaigns. And well, I believe the one that we played on was I mean, fear is not here, right? But it's still a pretty strong emotion. And I believe Rolf Sinner is like, oh, why do you still have a useless phone that you're not selling away? I believe this is something that you can use pretty often. So this is the next step that I'll be touching on. So I'll be trying to use all these different ideas to come up with banners and landing pages. So the next run I'll be doing another 10 more banners, and another maybe 1 more lander to supplement the one that I already have, which is working. So I'll be keeping this one, and yeah, we'll see what happens. Thank you for watching.